Let's start with the basics. First, to locate Keynote, you are going to go to your Finder, Applications, and Keynote should be in your Applications folder. If it's not, you'll be able to go to the kiosk or the little blue bird up here at the top of your screen and download it from there. Once you have Keynote installed, you are going to open Keynote. And it will look like nothing opened, but if you go to File, New, you'll be able to start your new presentation. For this, we are just going to begin with a blank basic white presentation. So I'm going to press Create. And then because I'm creating an animation, I'm going to delete all the text boxes and start with a blank screen. Now, I'm going to show you first with the basics how to just do everything you need to do inside Keynote, and then later on we'll look at how you can add different assets that you've downloaded from the internet. So since we're beginning with the basics, we are going to color fill this background. And up here at the top, you'll see that there's a little menu, and because there's nothing on the screen, I want to go to Format here, and I'm going to choose Color Fill. And I'm going to do a gradient fill. So we're going to do a gradient fill, and I'm going to switch this from dark to light so that it's going to get darker as it comes down. So that's going to be the sky. Okay. And now I'm going to start adding in basic shapes to help me build out my screen. So I'm going to go to Shape. And I'm going to put some ground in here. So I'll change this to a green color. If I go to my change color option, I'm just going to change it using color fill. All right, and I want this to look a little bit more realistic. So let's make sure first that it's all dragged across, which it looks like it is. I'm going to zoom this down a little bit so that I can see the whole slide. And that's going to help my view. Now that I have my sky and my ground in place, I want to make it a little bit more, not realistic, but interesting to look at. So I can do that by adding shapes. If I go to Shape, it'll bring up the basics, but if I search for extra things, I can drop those shapes in there. And then by selecting the shape and pressing the paintbrush in the upper right-hand corner, I can change the color of that to make it look a little bit more interesting. And I can copy and paste this and put it into different things. So if I just right click and do copy and then paste, Command V or Command C, Command V, I can add in some extra texture if I wanted to. I could also add a tree in. So I just go up to Shape, Tree. Now you can only get one color on this, but I can still change the color, just have that paintbrush selected, right? Go to Color Fill and change out the color. So I've added in a couple of things. You can do clouds. Right, you're starting to get the point here, right? Change the color, and I just continue by searching and adding things. And you can also just click and add that way. All right, so that's how I just search for shapes and add shapes to begin building out my scene. I can also continue the scene down into a different slide. So in order to do that, because I'm going to be using the same sort of scene, I'm going to just right click on the little icon on the left, and I'm going to duplicate that slide, and it's going to just pop everything down into the next slide. Now I'm going to go ahead and delete my little runner here, and I'm going to delete my birds, but I'm going to leave the rest of the scene, and I'm going to go up and add another shape. And now I want to add in some text. So I'm going to go back to Shape. So I'm going to add a speech bubble this time. I'm going to just drop that in, and I want that speech bubble to be white. So to change the color with the object selected, I'm going to choose the paintbrush, the color, and then white. And then all these little green pieces here, all these little green circles will let me drag things. And I'm going to drag that around, and I want to make this a little bigger. Okay, and then all of our objects are actually text boxes too, so I'm just going to type my text. Oh, but you'll see I'll need to change the color of the text. So if I go to text, I'll see my text color here is white. I'm going to change that to black. All right, and I can do things like change the font. So if I select all of my font here, I can change that to a different font style. I can change the size and that sort of thing.